and welcome to That's Football. How are we all doing? Football, bloody LA. I mean, it was a pleasure to be on the stream this afternoon with Xander and doing the penalty shootout. It was a terrible game of football, but this World Cup just keeps on giving and giving, doesn't it? It really does just keep giving and giving, because it was a terrible game, but then we get a memorable moment. And this World Cup just will not allow there to be boring, mundane games. It just keeps going and going and going. And look, I had a look on Twitter. I was a bit busy for the last hour trying to sort a few things out for the United stand and that, but I did have a look on Twitter very quickly, and the typical hating of David De Gea is obviously out there. Of course it is, and I would expect that. But how you can blame a goalkeeper in a penalty shootout is beyond me when you've had 120 minutes of possession and created next to nothing. So Spain need to look at the way they play football, as far as I'm concerned, because they're boring. They're absolutely boring, and I don't get what their end game is meant to be. Quite literally, what is the end game of Spain? I do not know. So they go out. Germany's out. It's funny, I was messaging Draughty over the weekend, and he was saying this World Cup's wide open, and I said to him, the one team that worries me about it from an underdog or an England perspective even is Spain. I think Spain and Germany were the two teams with the pedigree that would always worry me in this tournament. They're gone. So France, Brazil probably become the favourites on paper. We may well see the sort of thinking person's favourites tonight in Croatia. But the winner of this plays Russia. You've got to fancy your chances against Russia. Russia will probably not play the same as they did against Spain in the quarters final. We are definitely going to get one team in the final who's never won it before, or England, who, you know, I don't count them as winning it. 66 was so long ago. It's a bit like Uruguay, isn't it? So we will get a team in the final who's never won it before, whether it's Denmark, Croatia, Sweden, Switzerland, England, Colombia, or Russia. So one of those 7 teams never won it before apart from England. We will get one of those teams in the final, which is massively, massively exciting, because I wanted this to be the World Cup of the underdog. It's been a fantastic World Cup, and if we can get somebody who's won it, who's never won it before, absolutely brilliant. And you've got one side of the draw that's just full of Brazil and France and Belgium, and then you've got this side of the draw that's got England, Colombia, Croatia, really. You'd think one of those 3 will make the final, which is massively exciting, because I wanted Colombia to do well before the tournament. I don't now, because I want England to do well. Obviously, I want England to do well, and Croatia in a World Cup final would be a sensational story as well. Belgium on the other side, Nick Archer, you know what? I wouldn't have a problem with Belgium doing well in it. I don't mind if they do. It's just very, very, very exciting, and it's living up to the task, this World Cup. It really, really is. So can't wait. Can't wait for it. Really, really excited. Okay, let's start taking some of your comments. Let's have a look at the team news also first. Let's have a look at some of the team news and see what's going on with that. The team news. Let me have a look. I know it's going on the bottom of the screen for you, but I look elsewhere for my team news, so I'm just waiting for it to load up for you. I've seen the Croatian team. I haven't seen the Denmark team. So I know Croatia has got a midfield 3 of Brozovic and Rakitic and Modric. Mandzukic leading the line with Rebic and Perisic. And that is, I think the weak point is probably Mandzukic, if you can call it that. But the midfield 3 is fantastic. I really like Perisic and Rebic. I think they are almost the clone of the same sort of player. Fast, can put a cross in, can score a goal and work hard and are good in the air. You know, you can't knock that. You certainly can't knock that. As for Denmark, Schmeichel's been very good in goal for them. Dalsgaard, Kjær, Jorgensen, Knudsen, Christensen, Braithwaite, Eriksson, Delaney, Poulsen and Cornelius. And they're a good team, Denmark. They're a good team. And I think this game tonight is... I don't think this afternoon I expected it to be a good game. And we got an absolute belter with penalties. This one I think is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be... I don't see it being annihilation from either side. I think it's going to be quite close. I understand why people will want Croatia to win or think Croatia will win, but in this World Cup, it's very hard to say which way it's going to go. And I'm sure England and Colombia would probably prefer Denmark to win, because Denmark, Russia in the semi-final for either of those, if they can beat Sweden or Switzerland. It's just massively intriguing, this side. It's the side of the underdog. This side of the draw is the side of the underdog. And who knows what could happen. I've just lost the live comments. I will be back with you in a moment to interact as normal. But make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new and spread the word. We had a fantastic stream this afternoon with Xander leading it, and massive numbers for the penalty shootout. I think we had 1,500 people watching. So, yeah, fantastic that was. And I seem to have lost my stream now, which is great. Yeah, we are live. That's good. I'd lost the stream. It was playing up a little bit, so that's good. Get me live comments. De Gea, the best goalkeeper in the world, says Sam Has. Look, De Gea plays for my club. He plays for Manchester United. I love David De Gea. Spain need to look at themselves and their boring football. Just imagine if Denmark thrashes Croatia, says hello 8374. Which way are we all going in the live comments? Do you want Croatia to win? Do you want Denmark to win? I mean, personally, I think if Denmark play to what I think they are, it would be very tough for Denmark, but I said the same about Mexico, and they were very poor against Sweden, and Sweden are in the knockout stages as well. So it could go many ways, many ways. Mike D says it's looking more and more likely England can win this World Cup. Mike, I've had so many messages from family and friends in the last hour saying it's looking like it's England's year. Colombia. Don't look past Colombia. And you know what? England could get to the quarterfinals and play Sweden or Switzerland, be a really tight game and lose on penalties. England are crap at penalties. Look at Spain today. All the technique, all the good players, they massively got thrashed in that penalty shootout by a much inferior team. And England are even worse at penalties. So, I mean, look, I'm just looking at that night sky in Russia as well. It's fantastic. I'm loving this World Cup. I don't think... I think I'd become quite detached from international football. I don't know about you lot, but I really had to become a bit detached from it. I've fallen in love with it again this tournament. It's a bubble. I will always say it's a bubble. The standard is not that of the Premier League or the Champions League, but it matters a lot because it's countries, isn't it? And the support is a country, and you get behind your team as a country. There's no tribalism. There's no I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm an Arsenal fan. It is fantastic, and it's been a great World Cup, and I've said this a few times, and I know a lot of you have as well. What I wanted this World Cup to be was about the closing of the gap between the status quo big teams and the perceived lesser teams. And we've seen that. We've seen that. And we've seen it with really good entertaining football as well. And the gap is closing. And Russia have put Spain out. And Germany didn't make it out the knockout stage. So it's massively exciting what football's becoming. And that's because it's becoming such a global sport. I mean, we'll have people in this live comments who are watching from Indonesia, from Nepal, from Mexico, you know, from Northern Europe, from... Well, Northern Europe was a bad example. But countries that are, you know, maybe typically... don't have great big football followings, but it's becoming a global sport, and because of that you're getting managers and coaches going to these countries and coaching these players, and it's making a big difference. I mean, whatever you think about Russia today, the technique wise of how they played and organised themselves, that's not a joke how they did that. That wasn't a coincidence how they did that. They did that because they're coached well, and it makes a massive amount of difference. The game's kicked off, by the way, as you can see. We're 21 seconds in. Croatia playing in a black and red kit, and Denmark playing in white. It's been the tournament of away kits, hasn't it? We've seen a lot of that in this tournament. A lot of away kits worn. I don't know whether people are trying to sell shirts or it's to do with the clashing of the colours. But the timer is running, Joha, and yeah, we crack on. Yeah, but the lesser teams have become coached better, more organised. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. And I don't think Denmark are going to be a pushover in this game, by the way. Denmark are in. They've scored! Denmark have scored in the first minute of this game. Dancing around the box. And, well, this World Cup keeps getting more weird and weird. Denmark score in the first minute. In the first minute of this game. Wow. Wow. What a World Cup. What a World Cup. You can't take your eyes off it. You just cannot take your eyes off it. I don't even know what happens. It's a launcher. It's an Icelandic throw by Denmark. They launch it into the box. It's dancing around in the box. It's a little bit of a pass. And the keeper, Subotic, makes an absolute mess of it. He's only 6 yards when he passes it at him. I think it might be Poulsen who does it. And the keeper just makes an error. It's passed at him and it hits his foot and goes in. Oh, my life. Subotic. It's an easy save, and he just makes a mess. An absolute mess of it. So we're 1-0 already. My life. But it's good for the game. It's good for the game. It's good for the game. It's good for the neutral. And you know what? Even if you do want Croatia to win, they need to be tested. So they're going to get tested now. And Denmark, well. Jorgensen's been credited the goal, but the keeper really almost should be an own goal, I think. He makes a right mistake. But get in, baby, says Amin. And excitement continues, says Nick Archer. What a start, says Andrew Kidd. It's hard to see, Mark, says Kwesi Brown. Poor keeping that, says Ryan Goodwin. It's full of surprises, says Joshua Chung. And I love it when the underdog wins, says Pankaj. Well, I did say Croatia will be the favourites in this. And, you know, I probably would go with Croatia because I think they've got potential to win the whole thing. But why can't Denmark win the whole thing? If they win the game, they deserve it, don't they? And they've started this very well. Are Croatia going to have their snooze game like Mexico? 2 good games and they fall asleep for 90 minutes. Are Croatia going to have that moment? Crazy, says Cantons. Loving this World Cup, says Fab Mark. Kunnell says Denmark will sit back now. Yeah, but it's not like Croatia aren't good enough to pick them apart. It'll have to be good. Age of the Viking, says Suni. Well, here's Rebic down the right-hand side. I can't even get things sorted out here. Please do share the video. They're into the box. Croatia, what was he doing? 1-1! Oh, my life, Mandzukic! What a start! We're 1-1, and now I just don't even know what's going on. I do not even know what is going on in this World Cup. This World Cup, bloody hell. 1-1. Mandzukic turns it home. Oh my God. 1-1. It's Rebic down the right-hand side. It gets blasted across. Unbelievable, Jeff. And Mandzukic just turns it on the back post. I haven't even shared the stream yet. Oh, let me just get back to what was going on there. 1-1. Rakitic is in a weird position. He blasts it across and you're thinking shoot. It finds its way to Mandzukic on the back post and it's 1-1. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Loving this. Loving this World Cup. What a start to the game. We are 1-1. I'll get the stream shared now. Whew. Well, I tell you what, it's a fast-paced game as well. It is end-to-end stuff here. No word of a lie. I still need to come back to you lot and change the score as well. Come on, Denmark, says Wesley. Best World Cup ever, says Young Lord. Best World Cup ever, says Amin. Mark, this is awesome, says Chad. It's end-to-end stuff. It's wide open. I tell you what I'm really happy with, and I can't praise these teams enough, is that we had so many people saying it's the best World Cup ever, it's the best World Cup ever. And I said, look, I've seen loads of World Cups. We've got to be wary of the knockout stage because teams will become really cagey. But I don't think they have. I think they've seen what's going on in this World Cup and they've realised that fortune favours the brave. And teams aren't playing cagey. They're like, let's just go and play our game and let's see what happens. This is the most open World Cup we've ever had. Lich is boiling. He says it's 8 PM and it's still 32 degrees. Completely different to the game earlier, says Sander Sagers. Yeah, 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. Denmark with a bit of a keeping error from Croatia, but they put the decent ball in. And then, Mandzukic on the back post turning across a sort of cross shot from Rakitic, which was the worst shot I've ever seen. But 1-1. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. May the best team win, says Xander. That's football is making this World Cup better, says Ben France. Well, all of you are as well, so please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Share the videos and get involved. But what a start to this game. Denmark are on the attack again here. You can't take your eye off this game. It's so open. And that cross has been overhit. Young Lord says this is the third World Cup I've been watching and this is by far the best. Nigel Jones, I agree, 2002 was a good World Cup. No Italy equals Open World Cup, says Electric Mars. Bounty Lad says Russia didn't play cagey. They were in the cage, mate. I've never seen a bus parked so much. But fair play, they took it. You know, Spain didn't break them down. They lose on penalties. That's the way it goes. Pankaj says this community's like a family. Well, I hope you're all enjoying it. Remember, we're doing every single World Cup game as a watch-along. And what a start we've had to this game. 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. We're only on minute 7. And it feels like everything's going. I think Croatia just trying to slow it down a little bit here as they keep hold of the ball. But Denmark will press and move. And they've got their own little midfield maestro in Eriksson. This is a World Cup, says Ed Woodward. Yeah, I agree with you, Anthony. I don't think... I understand the excitement for England, but Colombia is a massive game. I think Mandzukic's shot may just deflect off the Danish defender. But it's 1-1 and they'll be absolutely ecstatic. Kieran Brooks says Croatia are more of a threat to England, so he wants Denmark to win. Who does everyone want to win in the live comments? I was meant to ask that, but the game just started so fast and furious that we never even got to sort that out. So let us know in the live comments, who do you want to win in this? Denmark here with a throw-in. I hadn't realised that Denmark launched their throw-ins into the box like a corner, which for Iceland was always such a great asset. Denmark, Croatia lead, get rid of it this time. Well, England are playing at 7 PM, Andrew Kidd, on Tuesday. Let me have a quick look. So, Sean Butler wants France to play. I wasn't talking in the main. I was talking about this game. But I'd say the main people are going for Croatia. Hello, says Denmark. The Danes, Croatia. I'd love Mandzukic at United, says Kieran Byrne. Well, we won't be getting him now because we kept Fellaini, but it was an option there. Croatia, as they could go all the way, says Jack Brown. Sweden, says Hannibal. My prediction in this game was 2-1 Croatia. Oh, free kick on the edge of the box there for Denmark. For Croatia, sorry. Referee looks like a head teacher. You wouldn't want to mess around with him. Yeah, definitely not in the box. He falls in the box, but definitely not in the box. It's Rebic who takes the tackle. So, it's right on the edge of the box. It probably suits Perisic with his left foot, but Rakitic is over it. I mean, Modric doesn't even get a look in. This is a dangerous position for Denmark, says Ben France. Sebi says free kick. This is my 10th World Cup, says Gungshi. Yes, I am old. How many World Cups have I done then? I'd say this is my 8th, although I do vaguely remember the 9th, so it's my 8th World Cup. Anyway, free kick here with Perisic behind it, or will Rakitic go the other way? If Rakitic goes the other way, that's my FIFA free kick. Perisic, ooh, off the wall. Schmeichel was definitely moving fast to try and get there. Iana Morin says he'd love Rebic at Manchester United. He's playing for Eintracht Frankfurt, I think. Remember, subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're doing World Cup watch-alongs for every single game. Great community. The penalty shootout was brilliant. I hope we do get another penalty shootout at some point. Well, we will. We will. But the tension in that was amazing as a watch-along, having so many people getting involved. Cross comes in from Croatia, and it's cleared, but Croatia still have hold of it. This is a great game. I don't know why people... I saw some people this afternoon saying Croatia-Denmark is going to be a boring game, and I thought, why do you think that? It's not like either of them are superpowers anyway, so they're both going to be really hungry and up for it, and there's not a world of difference between Croatia and Denmark. Denmark have been around World Cups and major tournaments for years. They're well organised. They've got a good history in football. They're no mugs, and Croatia again, good little ball by Modric there. Croatia have come back from the goal really, really well and are looking the stronger team now. But as I said, whichever way you want this to go, whoever's going to go through, this is a real character building game because it's a proper game. It's like, Japan-Belgium tomorrow night. Belgium should be winning that. They're firm favourites. Spain-Russia today. Spain should have won that. Obviously they didn't. But Croatia-Denmark, whoever comes through that, you're going to get a proper game. You're going to get a really tough match, and that can only be good for you in the character that you need to build to win a tournament. There's a lot of yellow cards hanging over Croatia, actually. Rebic has definitely got one. Rakitic has got one. Mandzukic has got one. So keep an eye out for that, because obviously that could be an issue. Although, could it? Would you be thinking about getting your yellow card now? Because against Russia, you wouldn't want to get it there and miss the semi-final. The one thing about Croatia is that they have got a good depth of squad. PJ7 highlights says Cuadrado is going to rip England's defence apart. I think, look, Colombia, I'm English, I want England to win, is Modric on the right wing. I think that's going for a throw-in. I want England to win against Colombia because I'm English, right? But for anybody who's been watching this channel and all the previews, two countries I really wanted to do well in this tournament and was like, I'd love them to win it because it would just be great for international football. Colombia and Mexico. So I do like Colombia. I won't like them on Tuesday night, but if they did beat England because they're the better team, I would be wanting them to do really well in the tournament, Colombia. So, I mean, taking nothing away from Sweden, Switzerland, Denmark, we realistically, I think, my prediction is we'll see a semi-final on this side of Croatia versus Colombia or England, which is just a fantastic semi-final. And the other side, I think we'll see France, Brazil. So it's or France, Belgium, which is kick France out. I mean, I'd love to see a Belgium-England final or a Belgium-Croatia final. I don't think Mexico will have enough. I think Mexico might beat Brazil tomorrow. They've got a chance, but I don't know. They seem to struggle against the European footballers, don't they? Although they beat Germany. Andrew Ked says England, Colombia is going to be a cracker. It is. I've just got a horrible feeling, and the reason I've got a horrible feeling about it, there's nothing going on at the moment. It's just in the defence of Croatia. The reason I've got a horrible feeling about it is I've seen England in these games over the years, and it's the sort of game they go home from. I think it's looking like a really good decision by Southgate to sort of throw that Belgium game because, yeah, you'd expect them to beat Japan, but then it becomes a hard side of the group. If England can beat Colombia, there's no reason why they can't get to the semi-finals, and England have only done that twice in their history. So, but that will take care of itself. I'd love to see Mexico win it, Gungshi. I don't think they can. I thought they could. But how poor they were against Sweden, I just think that was a big red flag to me that they ain't going to go too deep into this tournament. I think, is James Rodriguez fit for the England game? I think I'd heard he was. The reality is we're not going to get a World Cup final between, we're not going to get Spain-Brazil, we're not going to get Spain-France. You can't get France-Brazil because they're on the same side. We will get an underdog in the final no matter what, whether it's England, Croatia, Switzerland, Denmark, Colombia, that we will get that, and that's really exciting because it will be sort of symbolic of what this World Cup's been all about. The lesser team doing well. So this game's not, I wouldn't say it's slowed down, but we haven't had a goal for 10 minutes. We had 2 in the first 5. And I think both teams now are like, bloody hell, that was a bit of a fast start. We need to just get hold of the ball a little bit here because it could get a bit silly. So Croatia having a lot more of the possession, which is what you would expect. I don't think Brazil will win it either, regaining life. I've just got a feeling that Brazil won't. But they've got as much chance as anybody else. I'm just not convinced by Brazil yet, but they could just grow into the tournament and get better and better. Denmark are a decent side, you know. Their build-up play is good. Very measured, hard-working. Gone out there, but a good bit of possession there for Denmark. The worst, this World Cup has been all about top players being tired from the season or not caring, says John Carlos. I think you might be on something there, John, you know, because I said this last night. Mbappe and Cavani were the big stories yesterday, weren't they? Look at what they do. Look at where they play their football. They play in a pub league where, with all due respect to the French league, you play maybe 6 tough games a season, and then the rest of it you're playing really, you know, not high-level football at all. They went out of the Champions League quite early as well, so their fitness levels in relation to what they've been up to. Oh, no, ref says no penalty. I wonder if VAR will refer it back. No, I don't think they will. So Cavani and Neymar and Mbappe compared to Ronaldo and Messi and what they've had to put up with is quite an interesting one. But also, it could play into the advantage hands of people who they are looking at VAR. No, they're not. They're not. They're playing on. It would have been a soft penalty, that. But, it might play into the hands of people like Jesse Lingard because Manchester United were the team in the Premier League that covered the least amount of distance last season. So their freshness levels could be there quite good for them. Gavin Moran says, I can't believe that Spain onto his shirt. From behind, it didn't look like it was. Here we go. This will be the one. So he's got hold of his shirt. And then he lets go. Oh, they're not showing the whole lot there. They've pulled away from the key bit. Bad Drab says no penalty. I think England's World Cup, and it sounds like a cliche, but I think if they do beat Colombia, they could go. They will go as far as the semi-finals at least. I think they'll win the quarter-final if they beat Colombia. I think Colombia's arguably their hardest game before the semi-final. Sweden, Switzerland. Of course, on their day, they could beat England. But if England can beat Colombia, I think they can beat Sweden and Switzerland. So, Colombia, again, I think I'd expect Colombia to beat Sweden or Switzerland as well. So, it's almost like if you win that first knockout game, you get yourself to a World Cup semi-final. Not definitely, because Sweden have been very impressive and Switzerland have done well. Perisic here down the wing. Interesting low cross. Denmark didn't do fantastic with it. They're a good team, aren't they, Croatia, though? Let's be honest, they're a good team. I don't care who scores for England, Jones, Sterling or Henderson, just smash it, says Low Fat. And I think that's what I was trying to say about this World Cup as well is I love club football, but World Cup football is just amazing because it's like you bring a nation together and not everyone likes it and some people are just very, very tribal with their club. I can't stand Liverpool, because I'm a Manchester United fan, and I know Liverpool fans who can't stand Manchester United because they're Liverpool fans, and that's fine. But I can look at football pragmatically, and actually, when it comes to the World Cup, I want Henderson to do well. I want Alexander-Arnold to do well, and it's nice. It's nice to live in that bubble for a few weeks every 4 years, isn't it? Or every couple of years if the Euros go well. So it's been fantastic, and I think, I don't know what the stats are, but it's just been a great advert for football, this World Cup, because it's not been boring, it's not been predictable, and some World Cups are boring and some World Cups are predictable. You don't know what you're getting in every game. I've watched virtually every game of this World Cup, and I think there's only been 2 or 3 games that I've thought, oh, that's terrible. But then I've had all you lot to talk to anyway. So it's great. There's not been any boring run-of-the-mill games, which is part of the reason I don't really want the World Cup to go up to 46 teams or whatever, because I think it's just been a perfect tournament with the perfect size. And you still get the credibility of the qualifying process. Mick Deb says that Croatian goalie looks rubbish to me. I normally do have a quick look at where everybody plays their football, so I'll have a quick look at that, because I think he plays in Germany, doesn't he? Monaco he plays for, Subasic. Interesting. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're doing a World Cup watch-along for every game. We've built a massively interactive community here, and the World Cup's been brilliant anyway, but it's even better with all you lot getting involved. So make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and do share and get involved. Game 2 today. 4 games into the knockout stage so far, and I think we can safely say that this tournament is going to continue to be absolutely fantastic. It's not dropping off. It's not becoming cynical. I think, maybe Spain-Russia was a bit boring, but it was totally and utterly worth it for that penalty kick shootout. 2 good games yesterday, and tonight started off really well as well. 1-1 at the moment, and Young Lord says, would you like it if Belgium win the World Cup? I would like. They're not my pick to win the World Cup, but there's other teams I'd prefer to win it other than Belgium. But if Belgium won the World Cup, I wouldn't be disappointed, because we'd be getting somebody winning it who's never won it before, and I think that's really important that happens. We need to change. Football needs to change. You need to change the old guard. Unfortunately, fortunately in the Premier League we had Leicester win it, didn't we, a couple of years ago, the Premier League, and that was just fantastic, because it's like we'll never forget that. But the reality is, every season you pretty much know 3 or 4 teams are going to win it, because Liverpool never are. But and the World Cup's a bit like that. Every World Cup it's going to be Germany or Brazil or France or Spain or Italy, and I just hope we do get that this year, because for all the brilliance of it, in 4 years' time we're going to see a Spain rejuvenated, Germany, because they're going to put a lot of investment, a lot of time into getting their national teams back. So this is the one where you want to see that change, that inspiration that will inspire many people. Many countries will be inspired if they see a Belgium in the final or a Croatia in the final. It really will. Here's an interesting point from 04 El Sabi. He says Denmark are 1 place above England in the FIFA rankings, while Croatia are 7 places below. I mean, a lot of people feel that those FIFA rankings are a joke, but then Switzerland, I think, are 6th, and they haven't actually done bad in the World Cup, have they? So Denmark coming forward here. It's not a foregone conclusion, this game, by any means. Denmark are very, very competitive. Little slip in. Good save by the keeper there. I tell you what, he got his shot away. Eriksson slipping him through. And, come on. Braithwaite shoots on the edge of the 6-yard box. Keeper makes himself big. And the ball actually bounces back, and it's Braithwaite who's on the floor on their head and goes out for a goal kick. So Denmark are looking, you know, decent. I don't know whether I've watched Denmark in this tournament because I missed Denmark. I missed Denmark Peru because Xander did it. I didn't watch Denmark France because I made Xander do it, and I can't remember if I did Denmark Australia. So I haven't watched them much in this tournament anyway. John Carlos says Subasic to Manchester United if De Gea leaves. I think there's very little chance of David De Gea leaving Manchester United, mate, now. He's not popular in Spain. He will not be going to Spain. He'll stay at Manchester United where he's loved, mate. And here's Croatia with Modric. I said this afternoon, I've said it a few times in this World Cup. The one thing that I think that Croatia do miss, and I know he's scored a goal for them, is if you could put Harry Kane or Lukaku up front, they'd be the complete side. Because they just miss that little bit of pace. Good shot from Rakitic from edge of the box there. Schmeichel gets rid of it, but they're still on the attack. Cross coming in. Rakitic. Perisic! Perisic! Ah! Dropped to him on the edge of the 6-yard box. Went to volley it, missed it, then went to volley it again, and Schmeichel was out and he put it over the bar. But exciting times in the box in the Danish box. Yeah, it drops to Perisic, almost level with the penalty box actually. Swings at it, then swings again and knocks it over the bar. If he'd caught it the first time, could have been a goal. A soccer goal. Kwesi Brown says Perisic bottled it. YouTube says Goldbridge in the studio is better than Goldbridge on the phone. Here we go. Shoots Rebic. No, he doesn't. Nice bit of skill. Oh, poor control there from Rakitic. I need to... I'm still going to be talking. I've lost the light. So I just need to sort my light out. That'll be 1 minute. Otherwise, it's going to get dark in the studio. We don't want that. We don't want no darkness in the studio. We want a light. That's better. That's better. So it is. So we are half an hour into this game already. Could have another penalty shootout. This game could, actually, out of the two games today, I would have said this is the one that's going to go to penalty shootouts. But at the moment, we're 1-1. I'd say Croatia are probably shading it with their ball possession, but Denmark look a threat every time they come forward. Corner to Denmark here, though. This is where they caused... it wasn't a corner, it was a long throw, but they caused a little bit of chaos. Eriksson, the architect. I know, I wanted to ask everybody, actually, when we get a little bit of lull in the game, I just want to... Cross comes in. Well headed. And I clear it as far as Eriksson, who's out on that right-hand side. Good play by Denmark, this. Keeper gets hold of it. Yeah, what I was going to say is, what did everybody think about that Spain penalty claim in extra time? Do you think it was a penalty? Because there's a lot of people saying that we've had a bit of Putin intervention, the conspiracy theorists. Croatia on the attack here anyway. Right back puts the cross in. I think he's overcooked that. And Denmark still have it though. Rebic. Johnny McRoberts says, who's been the most impressive player at the World Cup to you? I thought the Russian goalkeeper was good today, but I wouldn't say he's the most impressive. I think Rebic has got to be... I think Croatia have probably been the most impressive team in it. So you've got to look at a player within that. I think Rebic has been really good. I think Lozano had that first good game. He's gone off the boil a little bit. The Swedish centre-back's been very good. I really liked that Laxalt for Uruguay last night. He stood out fantastically well. He might have just been having the game of his life, but I thought he did well. There's been a few, so give us your comments there. I'm doing Brazil-Mexico tomorrow, yes. Definitely doing that one. 3 o'clock, isn't it? Really looking forward to that. I hope Mexico can just find some form. But Croatia on the attack here. Rakitic. And Schmeichel's got it. It wasn't Rakitic anyway, it was the fullback. Yeah, I mean, just going back to what I was saying there, did anybody... What? I just want to get everybody's thoughts on this. So we're into extra time. The cross comes in for Spain. There's, I think it's the number 4 grabbing hold of a Spanish player. They want VAR. It goes VAR, and the VAR says, don't give a penalty. The ref didn't think it was a penalty, and VAR backs him up. Do you think it was a penalty or not? I've got to say, in the way this World Cup's gone, I thought it would have been a penalty. That's all I'm going to say before I say whether it should have been a penalty. But what I'd seen from VAR, I thought that's the sort of decision they're going to give. But to give it would have been that would have been the end of Russia, wouldn't it? Wasn't a penalty, says Mitch. Kwesi says no penalty. Mark Young says no penalty. Gungshi says no penalty. No penalty, says Michael. The VAR didn't give a penalty because it wasn't conclusive, says KYouTube. No penalty. Not a penalty for me, says Ben. No. Abbas Yunus says definite penalty. I was just waiting until we got one. I'd say 95% saying no. Not enough in it, says Arsenic Gunner in case, which I think is the most relevant comment there. It's like, I can see it being given in this tournament, and maybe in a group game in the first half you give it, but context was really important, and that would have been Russia out and Spain through. And I don't think in that circumstance, at that point in a game, I think a referee does need to... I think you do need to have a common sense from a referee, and I think you do need to look at penalties that are like that and think, in a certain situation I might give it, but in that situation I can't. And I know that's inconsistent, but I think it's also important. 50-50, says Slims. Could have gone either way, says Kunal. Later, Shaloma. It was a penalty, says NG. 1989, Nick D says, for crying out loud, it wasn't a penalty. De Gea's out, get over it. That's a very weird comment, considering I wanted Russia to win. So I don't know whether you're thinking because I like David De Gea that I feel bitter about Spain going out. I really don't, and that was evident from my show this afternoon. I'm absolutely ecstatic Spain are out because I think I wanted Spain to go out. I want somebody to win it who's never won it before. I just read a lot when I came off air about people saying, there's conspiracy theories, it should have been a penalty. And my feeling was, it shouldn't have been. Jashan says that the Spanish players were like little schoolboys whining towards the ref, and I tell you what, they've not been getting away from that. They've not. I thought that I remember that referee from the group stage, and he was very good, and he was very good again today. I hope they keep him for the latter stages because he's been really, really good. But again, last night with the Uruguay-Portugal game, the referee there, I mean, he just didn't want to give any yellow cards, but the way he handled the game, they seem to be like, and the referee again today, they seem to be very much aware of diving and very much like not going to have it, and the games have been allowed to go. Good thing about Croatia is that they are very physical as well. They can rough it up. I mean, I think that, to be honest with you, I think even if Spain had found their way through today, I think that Croatia would have given them, if Croatia get past Denmark, obviously, but I think, well, let's just say a hypothetical, Croatia versus Spain, I think Spain would give Croatia a real bloody good game. They'd probably beat them, to be honest. Free kick. I mean, Rebic is a good player, isn't he? He's got what I like about Rebic is he's powerful but fast, and he's got a good gravity as a player. Like some players, like look at your Fellaini's. They're not in. It's a weird thing to say, but they don't have a good relationship with the ground. Whereas Rebic, he's like got really good balance. Joy Deep says, I have to say the refereeing in this World Cup has been excellent. I think it has in the general. I think we had a period of about 3 or 4 days in the group stage where it went a bit rubbish. I think it was about Tuesday, Wednesday last week. But this, in the main, it's been very good. It's hard to pick anything that's been wrong with it. The tournament, the stadia, the referees, the games, the weather. It's been great. It's been really good. Anyway, free kick here for Croatia. We're 38 minutes in. Modric is over it, flips it in. Oh, I thought that was heading in the back of the net. And so did Lovren. He got the flick. Level with the 6-yard box he is when he gets the flick. And it's wide. Close, says Pankaj. And it was close. Man United is my city, says what a miss. And Dr. Trolley says what a miss. Close, Lovren, you clown, says Prince R9. Please do share the video if you are watching. Just underneath the video, you can share it on Twitter and Facebook. We're close to 1,000, so let's see if we can get above that. Xander beat me this afternoon. 1,500 he had watching when there was penalties. Fair play, though. He does a good job. I'm pleased for him. Mancatch says, Mark, don't you drink anymore? It's like one day. There might be one coming up. I think this World Cup with VAR has exterminated a lot of the players of the dark arts, which has made it more balanced. Says Tobias Reed. Was it Tobias Red or Tobias Reed? Anyway, so it's an interesting interpretation of it, actually. Has VAR made the World Cup better because players can't get away with diving and stuff? Yeah, it's an interesting thought. And I think FIFA will want VAR to work anyway, so VAR is here to stay. Is it a coincidence that we're getting the best World Cup we've ever had because of it and VAR is being trialled? Kunal, Mark, you must be tired. I feel all right, mate, to be honest. I tell you what, when I was guesting on with Xander this afternoon, it's a good job I wasn't visual because there was times I was just like this watching it. But this is a good game. I've got to do United Stand at 9 o'clock as well with Sophie. So Mick Debs says, I feel Mark is starting to love VAR. I don't like change. Anybody who knows me will know I don't like change, and I love football, and I always feel that with football, why are we changing something that isn't broken? But with VAR, I can see the potential with it. I still don't think it's there, but I can see the potential with it. But what I've always said about VAR is we're going to get a point in this tournament, in the knockout stages, where it destroys a game. And that's that penalty thing today. If that referee had given that penalty to Spain, that's destroyed over 100 minutes of you investing your time hoping Russia are going to make penalties, and you're going to get the drama of penalties. And Russia never would have come back from that if Spain had scored that penalty. So brilliant refereeing in that situation, but it does worry me a little bit about VAR because I don't think it's finished yet. I still think it needs a few tweaks. Ericsson on the edge of the box here. They're into the box. Poulsen, Ericsson, back post. Ooh. Goal kick. Robson Fluid says, I still don't think we should have VAR. It removes controversy. But yeah, that cross from Ericsson actually hit the corner of the bar. Would have been a lucky goal if it had gone in. It needs development, Pankaj, I think you're right. The thing is, though, I think VAR actually creates controversy because I don't think it's meant to. But if you think about Mitrovic in that game for Croatia, and not for Croatia, for Serbia, when he was manhandled to the floor by 2 people and it should have been a penalty and VAR didn't give it. You think about Harry Kane when he was manhandled to the floor and he didn't give it. So that creates controversy, doesn't it, when it's not given, when VAR people don't give it. Some positive comments for VAR anyway. Two minutes to half time, looking like it should be staying 1-1 at half for the half time. 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. It was a great start to the game. This light's getting on my nerves. Give me 1 minute. Back and I didn't miss a goal. That's always a good thing. Oh, Rakitic! Oh, I nearly missed that. Dropped to him on the edge of the box. Hits it with his left. Schmeichel gets low down to his right and grabs it. Doesn't need to palm it away. Not enough power, but it's an opportunity for Rakitic. Straight at Schmeichel, more or less. Tyrone Williams says they should do the World Cup every 2 years. 4 years is too long to wait. Yeah, but you've got Euros and Copa Americas and things like that, haven't you? So that's why. Lovely play by Modric here. Denmark win it back. Got an injury as well to a Croatian. Mandzukic. Touching the back of his... I mean, that's something that we've not really seen yet as well, is it? It's the injuries and yellow cards. Well, we have. Will Rodriguez play against Colombia? Will Cavani be back for Uruguay? I haven't actually seen how long he's likely to be out for. I think he said that they've just got to wait to see. He felt something and he might be back. George has just set you all a question. He says, well done everyone who said Muller. Sander Vicky says this game may go overtime as well. I've sort of predicted when I looked at the weekend that this could be the first penalty shootout game. Awesome guy, loves international football. I used to hate it, to be honest, but the tournaments are always watchable. I don't like international breaks in the domestic season. But having said that, I think people will become... I think it depends what country you live in. In England, there's not a lot of people that interested in international football during the domestic season. But I think that would change if England suddenly became interesting to watch. I think there would be more interest in it. Because I know there are countries out there who love the international breaks and they love the international football. I just think because of the Premier League's domination and England being crap for years that it's lost that interest. But I mean, imagine if England won the World Cup. We'd all be loving international breaks, wouldn't we? So big ask for England to do anything like that. I'd be very proud of them if they get to the... I think if they get to the quarterfinals, that's good. If they get beyond it, it's excellent. If they get knocked out in the next game against Colombia, I think it's just... it's okay. It's not good. It's not bad. We're at half-time then, 1-1, an explosive first 5 minutes. Denmark in front within the first 2 minutes. And then Mandzukic equalising a couple of minutes later. And then pretty much nip and tuck since then. Denmark have when they've got the ball, they've tried to make progressive steps into the Croatian box. And Croatia have had a lot of possession, but Denmark's defence has stood up well. So 1-1 at half-time, probably about right. And I'd say Croatia on top. But the second half is there to be won for either team, but a lot of people are saying already this could be another penalty shootout, which I'd say Croatia, if they're going to be the dominant team in this game, they want to avoid a penalty shootout. I think any team in any game from now on, if they saw the Russia-Spain game, they need to be thinking we should not be settling for penalties. Let's go for it, because I tell you what, if I was Hierro, the Spanish manager now, I would have been thinking we should have gone for it way before we did. We should have started mixing it up. The substitution of Costa was stupid because he provides you with some power if you put some crosses into the box. They should have gone for it properly. Better to go for it than to play a Russian lottery, isn't it? Aha, Russian roulette. My light's not flickering like mad, it's the TV. Timer mark, sorry, yeah, I've done it. And do you think Sweden has a chance, says Bobbin? Of course, I think Sweden in this tournament have been quite impressive. They were very unlucky. They were very unlucky not to beat, to get something out of Germany. They bounced back against Mexico and they were fantastic. So they got a chance. They've got a chance. I think Sweden, Switzerland, is it 3 o'clock on Tuesday? Could go either way. And everybody thinks, well, England playing Switzerland or Sweden, or Colombia playing Switzerland or Sweden is a great chance. I don't necessarily think it is. I think those teams have shown that they can put in performances. Ryan Hill says he still thinks Brazil are going to win the World Cup. You see, I think if Brazil did win the World Cup, they're almost an outsider anyway, because where they're coming from the last World Cup, when they host the World Cup and get absolutely smashed by Germany. Yeah, Brazil have got a lot of history, of course they have, but I still think that they're coming from a difficult position. And imagine a Sweden-Russia final. It would be the worst game of all time before Borfest, says Marvin Millen. We won't get it because they're on the same side of the draw. So you could get a Sweden-Russia semi-final, but you can't get a final. Brazil and France are the only real powerhouses left. I mean, part of me thinks that imagine if Brazil got knocked out tomorrow and then Uruguay grind out France. It's just brilliant, isn't it? It'd be absolutely brilliant because you'd have somebody's going to win it who's never won it before. Well, Uruguay and England have won it before, but you know what I mean. You're going to get a shock. I think Lindelof's done well in the World Cup, Kunal. Rojo, not so good. He made a right error, didn't he, yesterday against Mbappe. Croatia, Uruguay, says Zohab. Croatia, Uruguay are going to be very, very hard to break down for France. And they could grind their way to the final with that team ethic that they've got. They're going to be hard to break down. England have a good chance as anyone, says Phil. They do. Who do you think is going to go to the final, Mark, says Ryan Hill? As of now, I think Croatia will make it to the final on this side of the draw and France from the other side. I'll be totally wrong, and I hope I am wrong. But if you're asking me to go, I would say Croatia-France final. Peter G, yeah, De Gea has made a save penalties in the past. If Brazil and France went out, says Harrison Lang, who would be the favourite? Probably Belgium, Croatia. John Brees says the hatred for Brazil is real. I think a lot of people want the status quo to go out, don't they? They want to have a turning of the page in international football. They want to have a team win it that's either not won it for years or has never won it. But what I would say is that it's very rare in a World Cup anyway, even if you are a favourite, it's very rare that a team comes out of the groups and then wins every game comfortably all the way to the final. Even if we had a massive favourite, I guarantee along the way they'd probably have a really tight game or a penalty shootout. Croatia could go all the way to the final, but I guarantee either this game, the quarter-final or the semi-final, it will go close, or they'll have to go to penalties, because that's just the way it is. Tyrone Williams, it's not possible for Brazil and France to meet in the final. They're on the same side of the draw, so I think it's, semi-final they would meet. They can't meet in the final. England versus France in the final would be fantastic, yes. France and Belgium again also would be a semi-final. Yash for us says, give us a summary of the first half. So, started off first couple of minutes, Denmark cross coming into the box from a throw-in actually, sort of bit of head tennis, thank you, and then a sort of shot across a pass towards the goalkeeper who seems to fumble it into his own goal, and then Croatia coming down the right, Rakitic with a sort of shot cross, which finds itself to Mandzukic, who turns it in off the Danish defender. So 1-1 in the first 5 minutes, and then no real chances after that, sort of half chances. I think Perisic nearly catching a volley level with the penalty box, which would have been an interesting outcome. But it's all to play for in the second half of this. If anybody didn't see the Spain-Russia game this afternoon, what a game. What a game that was. Not the best game over 120 minutes, but over penalties, to knock Spain out has just sent absolute earthquakes through this World Cup, which is what we want to see. Who's the better keeper, Peter or Kasper Schmeichel, says Peter G. Comfortably, Peter. Kunnell says, if England beat Colombia, they're favourites to reach the final. I don't know. I think Croatia are a better team than England from what I've seen so far. But we haven't seen England play anybody good yet. Because that Belgium game doesn't mean anything, because it was not their team. I'm on the gin and tonic again. Danny Graham. Spain don't have much speed. That's why they didn't win today, says Ryan Hill. Pankaj, everybody parties in bars all the time. If England wins, it should be a party, one of a kind. If England win the World Cup, we should get a bank holiday Monday. "1989 Nick ID says, do you know how Pickles died? Tragic story. Let us all know 1989 Nick ID. Perisic is really underrated, says David Nielsen. I think Perisic would have been a fantastic signing for Manchester United. It's a shame Woodward wouldn't up the cash, because I think he would have been absolutely fantastic. England, the World Cup final is 2 weeks today. It'll be finished by now. It's at 4 o'clock on a Sunday. 2 weeks today is the World Cup final. There is a third, fourth playoff, which is on the Saturday. Who knows why they still do that? Who's even going to watch that? Even if it was England in it, I wouldn't want to watch it, because I remember it in 1990 we played Italy and you just play all your reserves. So I don't know why they do the third, fourth place. I think it's something to do with FIFA rankings or something, but yeah, I don't know why they bother. Mark, would you have thought about going to Russia to watch England to play in the final? Edska 23. Until it becomes a reality, I don't know. I think all bets are on, I suppose. But I imagine getting a ticket for that would be very, very difficult. Marvin Millen, what did you think of De Gea today? I think he should have saved at least one of those penalties, but I also think that the real story is that you cannot blame your goalkeeper when you've had 120 minutes of chances. And not chances, of possession. KJ Rodriguez says, Rebic looks really good. Pep goes to Spain, they win the World Cup. Goes to Germany, they win it. Go now, he's in England. Pravin, that would be hilarious if that happened, because I've heard that a few times. Chad says, what's your opinion on Modric? One of the best players in the world. Would Spain have had a better chance under Lopetegui? Yes, Keith K, I think they would. They did lose their manager 2 days before. I imagine there's a lot of unhappy Spanish people tonight about various things, to be honest. Glenn Zenden says, yes, Rebic currently plays for Frankfurt, but not for long. He will be at a big club straight after this World Cup. Well, I wonder who. I think he's only just signed for Eintracht Frankfurt, though, hasn't he? Hello 837 says, I'm staying up till 3 AM to watch this game. So let me think. If you're staying up till 3 AM, are you in India or around there? Let me know. De Gea did nothing and proved he can only perform for United, says Sir Stuart Collins. I'm more than happy with that, mate. More than happy with that. I really couldn't give two hoots what he does for Spain. He's world class for Manchester United, and that's all that matters to me. Darren Sweetman says, sacking the coach backfired. Kovacic to get the winner, says Hala Madrid. G&T, Brennan Bites, yep. The transfer market opened for other European leagues today. Now things will happen, says Nigel Jones. I'll be talking about that on the United Stand if anyone's interested, because it's not just, well, it is about Manchester United, but if you're interested in the transfer window, I'll be talking about that first topic tonight at 9 o'clock, unless this goes to extra time. It's 12:30 AM in India, so where would you be if it was 3 AM in the morning? Are we going further away? Indonesia? De Gea kept his best for us, says MLC Kadim. Phil Mitchell says, has Sampoli and Deschamps been sacked yet? Well, Deschamps won't be sacked because France is still in the tournament. Anyway, players are coming out, second half. Do you think we're going to get a winner in this second half, or do you think we are looking at another extra time game? Let us know in the live comments. I think we're going to get a winner in the second half. I think it's going to be 2-1. And I get the feeling it will be Croatia. We've got a substitution here. Christensen's coming off. And Sean is coming on. So it must be a tactical switch unless there's an injury. It's 3 AM in Taiwan, Hong Kong and Singapore, King Shi. Thanks for that. Second half's up and running. And your timer is as well. Modric penalty winner, says Mr. ASG. You know that we know what we were talking about in the first half about VAR though. I almost don't want VAR to be involved in the knockout stage because it becomes so important. Group stage you can recover. Then again, if it's technically a penalty, it's a penalty, isn't it? Croatia out next? Question mark, says Chris Windle. What I like about Croatia is the way they changed their wide men as well. Rebic and Perisic can just switch from right to left at any time, and both are very comfortable. Both very two-footed as well. I don't think David De Gea will go on the US tour with United. I think he'll have a good 3 weeks off. And United are going on the tour 2 weeks tomorrow, I think. I think anyone involved in the World Cup will get at least 2.5, 3 weeks off. Because if you think about it, if you hadn't been going to the World Cup, if you're Daley Blind and you're not going to the World Cup, your season ended at the end of May, you've had 5-6 weeks off. "1989 Nick ID is right. The Swiss are the highest ranked team left in England's half of the draw. Does that mean they'll get there? Croatia on the attack here. It's Perisic on the right hand side. Cross comes in, over hits. It will go for a goal kick. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're doing World Cup watch-alongs for every single game. We've had some crackers, absolute crack. We've had very few bad ones, to be honest, and the debate points and the topics of conversation have been fantastic throughout this World Cup. So if you are watching the games, keep getting involved, keep joining. Brazil, Mexico tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock on a Monday. What a way to start the week. Then we've got England, Colombia at 7 o'clock on Tuesday. There's games in between that, of course. Japan, Belgium, Switzerland, Sweden. But I think they're the two everyone's probably looking forward to the most. Offside on Mandzukic. There's a little bit of De Gea conversation in the live comments. If you watched the stream this afternoon, you might have heard what I said to Xander. The goalkeeper for Russia had made numerous saves throughout the game, and his concentration levels would have been, and his body fitness would have been spot on because he'd made numerous saves, numerous catches. He'd been coached, he'd been trained throughout the 2 hours that game had been going on. De Gea had done nothing. He'd had no shots to save. He'd had hardly any corners to catch. Absolutely nothing. Then you go into a penalty shootout, and it's like, it wasn't like he had 10 minutes before the penalty shootout where he was practicing shots and stuff like that. And I know it's like not an excuse, But it did drop into my head that, you know, the Russian keeper is far more primed to do better in this because he's actually sharp. He's actually had something to do for 2 hours where De Gea's sort of like going into it cold. Abbas says he flopped. Look, and also what I would say is that it's all good banter, isn't it, if you don't like United to blame it on De Gea, but it's massively stupid to blame it on De Gea, really, because a penalty shootout is a penalty shootout. It's Russian roulette, isn't it? It's like, it really is a way to solve a game that can't be solved after 120 minutes. But from Spain's point of view, if they want to blame anyone, they've got to blame themselves. 120 minutes, touching 90% possession, and you create nothing. Even the goal they scored was lucky. So that's where Spain should be looking for the blame. It's like, how can you have so much possession like that and not go for it, not create chances? At no point did they mix it up, put crosses in, you know, move the ball quick enough in the final third, commit men forward. They deserve to go out. They deserve to go out because they're approaching 120 minutes. Ben France says, do you think Russia can get any further in this tournament? Well, if they can beat Spain, they can beat anybody. But I think if you played that game today 10 times, Spain would win it 8, maybe 9 times. So it would be very difficult for Russia to do that all the way to the final. It's not impossible, but I think what could happen to Russia is that they might play Croatia or Denmark in the quarter-final and get beat 2 or 3-0 because they won't play so defensive. They'll think, oh, it's Croatia, it's Denmark. Let's come out our shell a bit. They don't play possession football, and that could hurt them. Or they might take some confidence from it and play a little bit more open themselves because let's be honest, from the second half to the end of extra time, Russia just barely went out their own half, and they're better than that. So I hope we see Russia playing a bit more expansive in the next games, but I don't see them. I think they'll go out in the quarterfinals. Manchester Skulls 18 says Spain, they would have won 95 times out of 100, but that's why we play the match. Oh yeah, I totally agree with you. That's why we love football, isn't it? Because anything can happen. Robson Flood says Spain weren't brave today. They were bordering on boring, and they were arrogant because they just kept playing the same football. I don't think Russia were ever really. When I watched Germany against Sweden, I was like, bloody hell, Sweden, they need these minutes to tick down. You could tell the goal was going to come. They were on the ropes. Germany were trying this, that and the other. And eventually Germany broke them down. With Spain, Russia, it was like, I think Spain will score, but they're not really hammering the door down, are they? They're sort of knocking politely. Oblak is Czech, isn't he, Wesley? Or is he Slovakian? We've had 10 minutes of this second half so far, and it's getting a little bit cagey, which I did predict some of these games will. Well, actually, I wouldn't even say it's cagey. I think both teams are trying, but they're sort of equalising each other out at the moment. Oblak Slovenian. A few people said Slovakian, but he's Slovenian. And that's the great thing about football nowadays, isn't it? Especially international football. You've got really, really good players playing for, you know, perceived little countries in the footballing world. But they're going to get better and better and better. And they're going to produce better and better. Dry Lettuce says, Mark, Southgate has changed the mentality of the team. England have a system now. They stick it and Kane is no longer on corners. They can go far. Thoughts? Yeah, I think the fact that England do have a system is a big thing. They've got a team mentality. And I think it's really important. Denmark on the attack here with Poulsen. Good slide tackle. Oh, he's in. Oh, Braithwaite couldn't get it at his feet. It's a good cross from Poulsen. I think it's Vida who slides to stop it, but then it falls to Braithwaite, who just makes a mess of it, to be honest. Football fan says Oblak and Handanovic are both Slovenian. Unlucky. 2 top goalkeepers in a not such a great side. Mini Mourner says the best team will not win the World Cup. It's the team that plays for each other and gives 100% the entire game. And that's why Uruguay are a bit of a threat. Jake Mundy says, I think De Gea will move to a Spanish club. What do you think? I think there's no chance. He was not well liked in Spain, especially after today. I don't think he'll go anywhere near. Michael Hubbard, United Stand topic tonight is Mourinho's transfer frustration. That's all I'm going to say. Trippier has been very good wet lettuce. I really like him. He's got the best ball delivery in the English squad, and that makes such a difference. I think the best cross I've seen of this tournament so far was that one from Portugal last night from Guerreiro. A lot of people were giving a lot of love to Suarez's cross for Cavani, which was good, but that cross by Guerreiro that Pepe headed in, you know why that was such a good cross? Because Uruguay can deal with crosses all day, but that cross was perfect. Got right in between the centre backs, Godin and Jimenez. It had the perfect height, the perfect dip, that it took everybody out and landed perfectly for Pepe. It was a brilliant cross. And especially if you do that against someone like Uruguay as well, it was stunning, absolutely stunning. Alexander-Arnold's not fit to wipe Trippier's boots in this World Cup. He's got no chance. Next World Cup for him, Sessegnon, Sancho. Got some good cracking young players coming through, England have. That's why if England can just do something positive in this World Cup, international future looks really good. They've got some cracking players coming through. Anyway, we need a bit of a chance in this game. It's all a bit of a midfield battle at the moment. Lovely ball out to Perisic on the left. Dinked cross. No, it's going to go out. Joyce Dale made me laugh. I think Germany will win the Premier League one day. Yeah, good luck with that. Lookman is good as well, Tom Trainer, yeah. I mean, I don't even know all the young English players coming through, but I know in my previous job last year, I was working with somebody who had a lad who's about 12, who's part of the, I think it's either Coventry or Villa youth setup. And we were down the pub and he was telling me that he'd spoken to one of the coaches who used to coach England under 13s or under 14s. And he said that England are going to struggle for the next 2 or 3 years because there's not got a great pool of players, but the youth setup that they've got coming through, right the way from age under 11 all the way through to like under 16, is just brimming with talent. So hopefully that's true. And he also said that England are benefiting from the immigration that they've had into the country over the last sort of 20 years, because they're getting people from African origin, people from European, Polish origin, which isn't immigration, it's emigration, isn't it? But anyway, whatever it is, it's having a real positive impact because they're getting all, loads of players coming in whose, parents have moved over here, had kids here, and yeah. I suppose a bit like France. France benefit from that. Pawan's right. England did win the Under-17s World Cup as well, and hopefully we'll see some of those players coming through. Xander Vicky says, someone please score. Bitterness, Marvin Million. I think some of these pundits criticise good players because they're bitter, because their career's over. Ben France says the number 20 for Denmark has played really well so far. Let me just check who that is, because Poulsen, he's a good player. Good player, Poulsen. Plays for RP Leipzig. But this game's looking very tight. I know there's half an hour in it, but it's looking very tight. You feel like the next goal could be really crucial. Denmark into the box here. Cross comes back. And goal kick. Can't be a Belgium-France final, Rory. No, they can only meet in the semis. They're in the same side of the draw. There's Peter Schmeichel in the crowd. Mandzukic not shaking the hand of Kjær there. Another substitution for Denmark. Jorgensen's coming on. We won't be seeing Lord Bentner. They didn't pick him. Very even at the moment, isn't it, Xander Vicky? Yeah. Is a ball here. Perisic, or is it Rebic this time? It's hard to tell. No, this is Perisic on the left-hand side into the box. He's in. Corner ball. Well play, Ulsgaard. Mexico tomorrow to win, says Jordan McMahon. Brazil are favourites. Brazil are favourites. I just hope that the real Mexico turns up and not the one that played against Sweden, which was just shocking. Barani says that football suffered a heavy loss today when Russia went through having one shot on goal. I don't know. I think like Manchester Skulls 18 said, it's he played that game 100 times and 95 times Spain win it. It's just the great thing about football is that you never know. Croatia having a bit of pressure at the moment, but Schmeichel punches it clear. Peter G, I don't think Fred will feature in the World Cup, no. I don't. They're in the knockout phases now, and I think if he was going to play, they would have used him in the group stage. D and Tina says, I've never watched football before. I don't even know why I'm here. Yeah. Might not be the ideal stream for you. Yeah, I would be disappointed if Mexico played defensive tomorrow. They should try and play a bit of football, because I don't think Brazil's midfield has got that right balance or the attack. So another substitution for Denmark, and I think we had a substitution for Croatia there, didn't we? It looked like it, or maybe no, he's probably just getting a drink of water. Perisic is overrated, says Satar. I wasn't saying that Joyce wasn't welcome. I'm just saying that if she's just stumbled on a stream that's about football and she doesn't like football, she might not last long. But more than welcome. Everybody's welcome. Doesn't matter where you're from, what you like, who you support. Everybody's welcome. A goal would be welcome in this game, to be honest. I think a bit of reality always works well, though, because there's a lot of people, Croatia are going to win the World Cup. And it just shows you that it's never easy. It's never going to be easy. And you're going to have to graft your way. And Denmark are no mugs. I don't think we've had any yellow cards in this game, have we? Which is good, because I know there's quite a few Croatians on yellow cards. I really thought this game would be more exciting than this, says Dibanshu. Subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We're doing a World Cup watch along for every single game. And we're 20 minutes to go before we're going to see another bit of extra time here. But it could, it could. Croatia probably the better team, but I can see Denmark doing something here. Jordan McMahon says Russia could sneak a win against either of these. They could. I think some people thought Croatia were just going to turn up and blitz Denmark, and I never did. I think I went 2-1 to Croatia was my score prediction, but I knew it would be tight. Teams like Denmark, Sweden, Switzerland, they're not pushovers. They're not. Louis Heisted's impressed with Delaney. He says he's so solid and defensively sound. Plays for Werder Bremen. Both teams look tired and playing super cautious after giving away sloppy early goals, says Eric Ward. Looks like we're going to see, I think it looks like Kovacic is going to come on here. Denmark coming forward. I don't think either team's playing cautious, to be fair. I just think they're both sort of they're both going for it, and they're sort of cancelling each other out. Syed says hopefully England are going out tomorrow. Be pretty tough because we're playing on Tuesday. Kovacic coming on, and I think is it Brozovic going off? Yeah, it is. Who does Pjanic play for then? Is he Bosnian? Yeah. He is. Active Dan, Juve, yeah. I meant what country, yeah. Oh, Poulsen into the box. Lay it off. Straight at the keeper. There's a chance there. I think they took too many touches in the box there, Denmark. But they're a threat. Vishnu says that Kovacic is good, but he's not as good defensively as Brozovic, who plays for Inter. I like Kovacic. I think if he left Real Madrid, he'd be. I'd love to see him at United. He won't come to United. He reminds me a little bit of Steven Gerrard. Just the way he comes and gets the ball, plays a pass, moves, can hit a long pass. I think we're looking at the way this is going. We're looking at extra time and penalties, aren't we? This is, to be fair, this has been more like your group stage game. This has been more like the typical knockout game that you get used to, where teams are a little bit cancelling each other out. But Denmark are looking good on the break. They're well organised at the back, and they're looking good on the break. Goal kick. Eriksson shoots wide. Enzo says Croatia's better than Denmark. I don't know. I think it's very equal at the moment. Alec Dukas agrees with me. He's a bit like Gerrard. I'd heard that James Rodriguez is okay, Harry Bennett, to play on Tuesday, but I can't remember where I saw that. Denmark look fitter, says Aston Fletcher. They do look a little bit quicker. Angelo, you're right. He's a bit quicker than Gerrard. Kovacic, especially now. Am I backing England? Well, I am English, so I want them to do really well. I just think that I'm not getting ahead of it. I just think Colombia is a game England can win, but England are so hard to judge because they've Panama and Tunisia. It's hard to gauge. But I do think if England can beat Colombia, they can do really amazing things in this World Cup that not a lot of people thought they could. Alex Ferguson says Croatia to rob a last-minute goal. Poulsen is brilliant, says Eric Steenwood. Yeah, I've been very impressed with him. I mean, he's not really a shock player, but he's done well. Oh, into the box here. Cut back, no one there. Modric shoots well wide. Edge of the box. Nick Archer says he's predicted 2-1. I predicted 2-1 Croatia as well. There's not been that many clear-cut chances in this game. Zahib, the rumoured fee that United wouldn't pay for Perisic was 50 million. Here's Rebic down the right hand side. Shoots from distance straight at Schmeichel. Saffron Akora's watching the football match. Hello, Saffron. Pankaj predicted 2-1 as well. Both teams conserving energy for extra time, says XBR Roughneck. Mexico are going to win tomorrow, says Elric Sanchez. Eric feels like Croatia are going for it. Thanks, Aboud. Says he loves the channel. Amith thinks penalties for this. Gungshi says stupid of United not to go for Perisic. I always felt that as well. So we've got about 12 minutes left in this game. I think if there is a goal in the next 12 minutes, it will probably be quite decisive. Because both teams have defended very well. I'd still put a bet on, I'd still fancy Croatia in this, but I wouldn't be stunned if Denmark got a winner. I agree with Anthony Muller. He says Croatia needs a quick striker. As I said, I think if they had a Lukaku or a Kane up front, somebody who can spin and run, they'd be the complete team then. I just don't think Mandzukic's lack of pace doesn't help them stretch teams. Good play by Dalsgaard. Yes, United Stand is meant to be live at 9 o'clock, United Till I Die, but obviously I won't be because, well, I might be. And they've had to change the number 3 is coming off here for Croatia, Strinic. And Pivaric comes on. Strinic plays for Milan. And Pivaric plays for Dynamo Kiev. Can we get a winner in normal time? Or are we heading to extra time? Albert Einstein says both these teams don't want to lose, and that's why it's cagey. The thing is, though, if you do lose it in the last 10 minutes, you haven't got time to get back in, have you? Thanks, Saffron, for the nice comment. Good run by Kovacic. Gets the foul. He's hurt himself as well. It's gone down on his shoulder. This could be bad news for Croatia. I don't know whether it was the way he fell. I think it actually happened before he fell. He seemed to get his arm twisted up. Dislocated shoulder, says Albert Einstein, and that would be... He's going to play on. I think he's going to play on. Ross Levisage says it's going to go to penalties. We've still got a little bit of time. There's just not been a lot of chances created. Who do I want to win, Sidemen Universe? Well, who does everyone else want to win? That's the more important question. I think that at the moment I'm undecided. I really am. I thought before the game that over the bar, header there from Perisic. I think before the game, a lot of us were thinking Croatia could be good enough to win it, but there's not an awful lot between Croatia and Denmark, so it makes you think, can either of these teams really win it? And Mr. B wants Denmark, Paul Johnston wants Croatia, Awesome Guy wants Denmark, Straight Sandwich wants Denmark, Croatia for Bogdan Gavrila, Denmark to MUFC Op Gamer. A lot of people supporting Denmark. Here's Mandzukic anyway, on the attack. Rebic is in the box. And it's gone out for a throw-in. About 5 minutes to go, probably about 3 or 4 minutes added on as well. I think once it hits the 90th minute, both teams will relax as extra time approaches. Great play by Kovacic there to keep that in, and he's earned Croatia a throw in quite deep down. Rebic has got it now. Lovely bit of skill. Oh, where were you? Corner. It's not a corner. Brilliant skill by Rebic. Cut it back for Perisic, and I don't know whether he swings it thin air. It's lovely play by Rebic. So similar to Perisic, the way he plays, and the defender just takes it off Perisic's toe. They've won a corner though. 86 minutes. Very impressive, that Rebic. Now, are Denmark going to get a chance here? It's Eriksen out on the right-hand side. He's got plenty of time to put a cross in. Refuses it. Poulsen does. Vida clears. Edge of the box. Ooh, he caught it well. Goes wide. Is someone in the live comments called Lovren world class? Do you want me to call an ambulance? 87 minutes gone. We're going to get a winner. I'm not so sure. Will Graham, is this going to go to the wire again? I think so, Will. I don't see us getting a winner here. Stuart says Lovren can be world class on his day. Well, that's not world class then, is it? Surely one of the big things about being world class is consistency. It's like saying Pogba's world class on his day. Like yesterday was world class, but all United fans know that Pogba's not world class because he's not consistent. "88 minutes. Travis Rhodes says the Danes need to go for it and stop sitting back defending. I think Denmark are just playing to their limits, aren't they? You know, they know if they open up that Croatia will carve them open a bit easier. So they are just playing well organised, counter-attacking football. They've got a chance here to just chuck a long throw in the 89th minute. We might get a winner. And the person who's throwing the ball has got to run from one side of the pitch to the other because he throws it in like a corner effectively. Well, this would be a shock. If they got something here, this would be a shock. So Knudsen with a long throw. Maybe United should do more of this with Fellaini. Croatia have cleared it. 3 minutes added on. I think we're looking at extra time now. I think even Croatia have sort of thought, you know, might be one last attack here. Mandzukic is out on the right wing though. Croatia just look like they're keeping the ball themselves. Denmark have got everyone behind the ball. Rakitic shoots. Ooh, just wide. Good effort, but wide. Long way out. And I think we'll see extra time now. Oh, God, I tell you what, I thought Eriksen's cross there, I thought he was going to get across the striker. And it's a corner for Denmark right at the end with a minute to go. Weimar and Why says Denmark have been impressive, not as much ability, but tons of heart. God, imagine if we got a quarter-final, Denmark-Russia. Bloody hell, that would be a shock, wouldn't it? Keeper's punched it. Braithwaite, wide. Extra time incoming then. Only about 30 seconds left. Dean Sidder, I'm going to have to, when this is confirmed extra time, I'll have to go and change the time for the United stand, which I will do in a moment. Come on, ref, blow up. And he's blown up. So we've definitely got extra time in this game. You probably could have seen that coming a mile off. But yes, interesting is what I would say. Right, where's my live comments? It's going to penalties, says Taryn. It's written in the script for England to reach the final, says Jay Hart. I tell you what, if Denmark get through this game, then you've got Denmark and Russia in a quarter-final, which I don't think anybody would have called that. So, really interesting. And I don't think Croatia have done enough to win this game for me yet. Not quite done enough. So, what's going to happen in extra time? I'll tell you what, if it goes to penalties though, as we've already seen once today, if it goes to penalties, it's anybody's game anyway. So let's wait and see. We've got potentially another half an hour and then we've got penalties. So it's intriguing to say the least as to where this could go. But we will lose another team in the next 40 minutes or so. United stand is going to be, I'm just about to go and do it now while I'm chatting to all you people. United stand is meant to start at 9 o'clock. It will now be put back to 9:30. I can't be in two places at once. So, and I don't think United stand viewers will appreciate Croatia versus Denmark watch along. So I'm just going to knock the time back by half an hour. I still think Croatia have got it, but I think they've also got to be a little bit careful on the break from Denmark. And Denmark are very hard to break down at the moment, which they have been typically throughout this whole tournament. So of course they can both make another substitution now as well, which makes it interesting. You can have an extra substitution in extra time. But my bet would be that we might see I don't think we're going to see penalties in this game. I think we will see a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Both games going to extra time then today. Both games going to extra time. But who do you want to win? I think a lot of people were moving towards Denmark when a lot of people at the start were going for Croatia. Oh, don't do this to me. Come on. It's football. Croatia versus Russia. In the quarterfinals. I still think Croatia will come through this game. Yes, I do. Okay, I'm back in the room with you lot. I've put United stand back for half an hour. And it will be after this game, Mark Atherton, yes. Denmark would bring in Sisto. I always support the underdogs, says Patches. Denmark, says Lasse, 87. Come on, Casper, says Andrew Rossi. Who are you going for, says Game Infusion. I won't be disappointed if Denmark win it. But I want Croatia to win, to be honest, because whilst underdogs winning it is great, I don't know that Denmark could beat France or Brazil, but I think Croatia could. But it's a good test. If Croatia come through this, it'll be a really good test because Denmark have been very well organised and they've worked really, really hard. Sean O'Riordan, there is a United stand tonight. The stream is set up and it will be live straight after this. So there is a United stand. It's at 9:30 UK time. Croatia for the win, says Zoe Dover. Jesse Lingard winning the World Cup. Insanity is best. Good to see the best moderator carrying this stream by himself, says George Kyle. I don't know where the other mods are tonight, George. But yes, he's doing a cracking job with these little quizzes as well. I've been keeping an eye on them. Watch people say Russia cheated if they go any further, says Bryn. I think people are already saying it, mate. Mini Morner, would you like the extra sub to come to England for cup games? I think it would be a good idea. Help give that extra yard for teams to push for wins. Yeah, I think that's the inspiration behind the idea, and it's good. MSR Kadam says it's 2 a.m. in Bangladesh. We want goal in extra time to hit the sack. Go Croatia. Yeah, I imagine you do, mate. It's I've got to be honest with you. The Russia-Spain game, I wouldn't say I was angry, but I was like, oh no, when that went to extra time. I don't really mind this one going to extra time because it's an intriguing game. It's a bit of a chess game, but the Spain-Russia was like, oh, it's just another half an hour of Russia defending and Spain trying to score. Let's just go straight to penalties. But with this one, I don't think it will go penalties. I think we'll see a goal. I think Croatia want to win it in normal time. Perisic decider, says Dean Kazabath. Yes, Andre Gordon, I'll have to delay it a little bit further as well. Zoe Dover says Croatia's got Rakitic, Modric, Mandzukic, so we'll definitely win. Let's go Croatia. Well, it's Denmark on the attack here. Cross comes in on the back. He wins it. They clear it. Edge of the box. And Mandzukic has gone down in, caught in the face. Totally accidental. Andrew Rossi thinks that Denmark are going to pull it out because Croatia look tired. Mark Kinnock's missing the match to help his girlfriend find her clothes for work. See, that's true love, that is, Mark. Part of the bus doesn't work in 2018. Just ask Russia, Denmark and Uruguay, says Robert. Oh, Duran. Yeah, you know what? You're not far wrong, Robert. Oh, but I think I've got a theory for that. Oh, I've not started the timer, have I, for this? Let me sort it out for you. So we are 02 and 30. There you go. Thanks for reminding me. Saffron says Denmark's got to win. Harrison Lang, I've had a couple, not many. I don't get many. Andrew Hill, United stands at 9:30 tonight, so it'll be after this game. I don't think we'll get extra time. Well, you never know, do you? I was going to say I don't think we'll get extra time tomorrow night with Belgium and Japan. I think that will be straightforward enough. Well, Denmark have started off better in this extra time anyway. Much better. They're moving the ball about a lot more assured. I think Jishnu's right. You can't... Oh, Denmark are in. Cross. Overhit. Braithwaite on the back post. Cross. Underhit. Cleared. Still Denmark on the attack. Ooh, get careful here, Rebic. He could have gone down there. Corner. Is it a corner? He could have gone down there under that tackle from Rebic. I think he might have got a penalty. Ooh, no, I think Rebic got the ball, to be fair. So, well, Denmark have started this second half much better. I've got to be honest. They're the better team at the moment. They've got a corner here, which Eriksen's going to take. United stands at 9:30, Abbas, so half an hour. Eriksen, cleared. Well, Croatia haven't started. They haven't started this second half. Matthew Dean, can you see this game going to penalties? I don't think it will. I think if it's going to penalties, it'll be 2-2. I don't think it's going to stay 1-1. And we're going to get another big throw here from Knudsen for Denmark. Tell you what, straight across the 6-yard box. It's a handy throw-in to have. Eriksen. And they'll be throwing to Croatia, who can't get out in the home half at the moment. Jack Brown, yeah, Lukaku could fill his boots tomorrow against Japan and stat pad a little bit. Perisic is coming off. I can't believe it. Kramaric is coming on. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He plays for Hoffenheim. He's not had his best game, to be honest. Well, if you turned this on afresh, you'd be saying that it's Denmark who are going for it and Croatia are playing for penalties. But Croatia look a little bit spent. Denmark make another substitution. Krohn Deli coming on, number 2. And number 8's coming off, which is, looks like Van Bommel, but it's Delaney. Why do Denmark have players called Delaney and Braithwaite? What's that? Well, I suppose it can happen, can't it? Joker HD says, why are you not as enthusiastic as you are on the United side? It's been a long game, and I've already done Spain-Russia as well, so fatigue is probably setting in this. I had hoped for a better game of this. I don't think Kovacic will come to United, Danny, because I don't think United will be signing him in the midfielder now. They've kept Fellini. It's Denmark again. Ooh, good, another shot, just wide. Definitely the better team. Definitely the better team. Goal kick then for Croatia. Kovacic. Oh, God. Yes, Jack, I am. First week in August. I was meant to be going the week before the World Cup, but I had to cancel it. And actually, I'm quite pleased because I think having a holiday before the World Cup, I'm going to need one pretty much something to look forward to before the new season. So yeah, I'm having a holiday. First week in August, just before the season starts. So looking forward to that. Although we're getting plenty of sun in the UK at the moment. Is Croatia on a rare attack? So we've had 10 minutes. Extra time is irritating anyway, isn't it? I mean, it is irritating because it's like, in many ways, I feel like this game's been the biggest disappointment so far because both teams have played it like typical. Remember, I said this before, knockout stage games, people can get really cagey. And I think that these two teams have played it that way, which is disappointing. We haven't really seen a proper game of football. And I just never understand why teams do that, really, because you may as well flip a coin and never play a game of football. If you think that penalties is, worth playing for, then why not just pay? Why not flip a coin at the start of the match and save everybody their time? Ricky Grimshaw says, we've had a bit of rain, but it's hot again. Living on the south coast during a heat wave. Hope there's a thunderstorm brewing. I think Perisic would do very well in the Premier League, Travis. Oh, Jack, I can still do the United stand. It doesn't matter. Mini Morner, I hope Jose is taking notes on how to make a game entertaining while he's out in Russia. I wonder if the World Cup bores him. Fast pace attacking play. Oh, that's a good point from Razwin. I mean, we've got different people watching here. So, whatever country you're in, tell us what are the top... What you think are the top 2. Oh, Croatia in here. Well done, Schmeichel. Had to tip it over. Corner. What are the top 2 social media what are the top outlets, I suppose? So I would say in the UK that the biggest 2 social media things that are used are probably, I'd say Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, YouTube and Twitter are popular, but I'd say Facebook and Instagram. So that's in the UK. Tell us what is in yours. What's the top 2? Because somebody was just saying that Croatia, it's Twitch. Modric is still on. He's just taken a corner. Another corner. Instagram and Snapchat in Ireland, says Aaron. I thought Snapchat had pretty much finished, to be honest. Straight Sandwich is saying Snapchat and Instagram. Facebook in Bangladesh. Goal kick. Okay, a lot of people are saying Facebook and Instagram. Croatia here. On the attack. We're pretty much done. That's why I'm just asking this question, because we're nearly at the end of this half anyway. Rebic into Modric. I think that'll be the end of the half. That is the end of the half. So still 1-1. It's Snapchat and Insta in the UK, says Man United. So if everybody is in the live comments then at the moment, we're at half time. What about... I'll tell you what I'm going to do while it's half time. I'm just going to quickly pop to the toilet. I haven't had one for ages. Chat amongst yourselves. I won't be back. I won't be long. Back once again with another one of those. Okay, so I've kind of got to do the clock again as the second half kicks off. Maybe we are going to get penalties. Maybe I was wrong. And maybe we're going to get a shock. Although, in the context of the game, maybe it's not such a shock. Because Croatia are having their Mexico game here, aren't they? A little bit. Denmark to win on penalties, says Angela. I think I would agree with that. I think you can sort of, you can tell. There we go. A little bit of a break on here. Well, I say a break. Denmark now don't have 8 people behind the ball. Kovacic, I thought that was going in. He hit it well, but it was well blocked. Bit of a shame. Now it's Denmark on the break. Gary Wells says, thank God for the penalty shootout drama to liven up this World Cup day. That's a good point there from PS4. He says, Croatia never had a test. They played a bad Argentina team. Who else was in their group? Nigeria. Was it South Korea? Oh, Denmark in here, into the box. He's got a lot of players around him though. At least we've not had any VAR yet. Oh, good shot. No worries for the keeper. That's from, I forget what this lad's name is, but he's very, very fast. Number 23 for Denmark's come on as a sub. And his name is Sisto. He plays for Celta Vigo. Mandzukic is coming off and Badelj is coming on. Which is a bit odd because you've got penalty shootout. And Badelj is a midfielder anyway, he plays for Fiorentina. I lived in Ireland for 3 years, so that might be why I have a little bit of an Irish accent. Or I might just be putting it on. Eric Ward's right. Mandzukic did look tired. I think he's looked tired the whole. I think Croatia as a team are looking tired, and Denmark look stronger. Which I mentioned this at the start. Oh, good little ball there. Falls over it though. I mentioned this right at the start. That the issue is that we can have an underdog winning the tournament, but on top of that, as these underdogs go later on in the tournament. Are they used to going late into tournaments? Have they got that mental and physical capacity to go deep into a major tournament? Because that's another thing that will always be an advantage for players who are used to going deep into tournaments. Now we lost a bunch of players who are used to that today in Spain, but there's still France. I think Denmark are verging on being the better team, to be honest. Certainly in extra time. Got to be honest. And when you compare the groups, Denmark's group, I didn't think Denmark would get out. I thought it would be Peru and France. And Denmark weren't beaten by any of them, were they? Australia were no pushovers either, but Peru, very good team. So maybe Denmark have been underestimated a little bit. Malahide was where I lived in Ireland. Croatia reminded me a little bit of Portugal last night, trying to overdo it, and Denmark are just very well organised. Jack Brown says that Croatia have changed my opinion on them tonight. Whatever the result, they've been so disappointing. We did say this before kickoff, though, didn't we, Jack? That will Croatia continue to be, really potential World Cup winners, or are they going to have that Mexico game where everyone's like, "Oh, Mexico are really good," and then they got absolutely done over by Sweden? Now, Croatia haven't been done over by Denmark, but they've certainly not been far ahead of Denmark, and. Sander said he was reading a play for school that was set in Malahide. Immediately thought of you. Was I in it? Here's Denmark in the box. Shot cross, side, wide. Got excited then. I thought we might see a goal. I was wrong. Well, I think Croatia look like they're set for penalties because they've offered absolutely nothing. Disappointed, yeah, I've been disappointed by it. Fans of both clubs look deflated, says Giovanni. There we go, we've got a one-on-one here. He's going to score. It's a penalty and it will be a red card. Oh dear, it's Rebic. It's a cracking ball by Modric. He puts Rebic through, he rounds the keeper and the defender takes him down. And it's got to be a red. It's got to be a red. Will they VAR it? It's brilliant by Modric. It's well timed by Rebic. He goes through one-on-one. He goes round the keeper. I don't know whether he gets a bit of the ball. If he gets a bit of the ball... No, he doesn't. It's a penalty. And it's a red card. Rebic is just about to pass it in. And he comes through the back of him. He's only given him a yellow card. How's he can only give him a yellow card? Is this the new rule then? How can it only be a yellow card? It's a goal scoring opportunity. It's got to be a red. Unless they've changed the double jeopardy rule. Somebody said something about a double jeopardy rule. There's an injustice here though, because Rebic is about to score. It's a tap-in, and this could be a Suarez moment because it's definitely a penalty because he takes the foot of Rebic as he's about to pass it in. But that should be a red because he's about to pass it into the net, and if Schmeichel saves this, Denmark have still got 11 players on the pitch. So I don't get why that should not be a red. That's what I mean. Jack Boy said he's going to save this, and that was my thought really. If he saves it, where's the advantage? We could have a Suarez and Garner thing here where they stop a certain goal and then Croatia end up going out. Vidak says it's a new rule. It's the double jeopardy rule. Modric misses. Where's the justice then? Where's the justice in that? I'm going to tweet that. Where is the justice in that? Stops a certain goal. Croatia missed the penalty. But the man isn't sent off. It's rubbish. It's really poor, that. Really poor. I've never seen that. It's total injustice. I can't believe it. Emmanuel's just said it as well. The penalty being saved is great, but I don't understand why Denmark get to keep 11 players on the pitch when he was just about to tap it in and he stays on the pitch and only gets a yellow card. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And it's basically allows you to cheat because you know you're not going to get sent off. I think a better rule would be if they miss the penalty, you're sent off. If they score the penalty, you can stay on. But I don't know. Again, changing rules when they don't need to be changed. I'm stunned by that change in the rule. It's a straight red, says Solomon Mike. But I would have thought it was as well. But apparently, they've changed the rule, so you can't have a penalty and a sending off. But that is a shithouse rule. I'm sorry. It really is. You can't stop a certain goal and stay on the pitch. I mean, he's literally about to tap it in and only gets a yellow card. The penalty being saved, it's a great save by Schmeichel. It's a crap penalty by Modric. That's fine. Penalties get missed. But the point is, that was a goal. They've cheated to stop a goal there. He's fouled him to stop it passing it into the net, and he stays on the pitch. And Denmark retain 11 men, whereas, you know, Croatia could have been absolutely going for it. Mini Mourner says, if that's the case, should be able to choose whether to have a penalty or have the man sent off. Silly rules. It's really weird. Really weird. And also, as Bryn says, in relation to the penalty shootout, that's a massive, massive advantage. And I think Denmark will win a penalty shootout because Schmeichel's got that sort of aura about him. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We've had two fantastic games today in relation to drama. And it looks like we're going to get 2 penalty shootouts as well. So bottom right-hand corner, we do a watch-along for every single World Cup game. There's always big talking points. Always big talking points. Football fan says, yeah, you can deliberately... Whoa. The Colombian got sent off in the first 5 minutes against Japan. And they got a penalty. So I'm absolutely stunned. So the rule hasn't changed. I'm amazed. I'm absolutely amazed because I don't understand the inconsistency of it. Really weird. Really weird. And if anyone knows, because I ain't got time to start researching it. So we're going to penalties anyway. We're going to a penalty shootout, which is probably what most people wanted anyway. They probably wanted Modric to miss, but I just don't get the... Angelo says the Colombian red card was a deliberate handball to avoid a goal. Well, that was a deliberate foul to stop him passing it into the net. It's an impossible tackle to make. You cannot make that tackle. So there's no difference. The Colombian handballed it, and this guy just tripped him up to stop him passing it into the net. It's... the keeper was off his line, says Rory Trainer. I haven't seen that. Bang, Roger, you're blind. You need to go to Specsavers. The Denmark player took his foot before he took the ball. That's why it's a penalty, mate. Everyone's saying it was a great tackle. He clips his foot before he takes the ball. It's a foul. So an attacker can get a straight red for diving to get a penalty, but defenders can take them out to stop a clear scoring chance but get a yellow. I don't get it. Penalty shootout anyway. I do not understand that rule, and I'm really, really surprised by it. But the referee makes that decision, and we've got a penalty shootout anyway. We move on. We've got a penalty shootout, and I would say Denmark have got to be the massive favourites for this now. They've got that aura in goal, who's already saved a penalty in full time. And 2 penalty shootouts today. You're right, 2 penalty shootouts. I'm meant to be doing the United stand half an hour ago. And, oh well. It's the World Cup. We're all having a good time. And we've got a lot of people tuning in for the penalties, which is great. We nearly got 2,000, which is fantastic. We never normally get that many. But I'm sure everybody's just tuning in for the penalty shootout. The lighting's gone very dark because we're losing light here. That's better. So, Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're doing World Cup watch-alongs for every single game, and they're getting more and more exciting by the game. So get involved, join in the debate points. I still have not seen anybody say anything about why he wasn't sent off. If anybody knows, let us know. But we've got a penalty shootout coming up here. There's people saying that it's double jeopardy, but as I said, the Colombian got sent off. Tetranomy says, how is that not a red card? The rule is if the defender makes a clear effort to get the ball, then they should only get a yellow. If a player just takes the attacker out with no intention to get the ball, then it's a red, says Not Jord. Well, thanks for that. And that basically closes it off. So really good comment that. I would say you should have been sent off because it's impossible to get. You can't make that tackle. You're behind the player. You've got to go through the player to tackle him. You can't make a tackle like that. So for me, it should have been a red, but the referee will hide behind that. And as some people think it was a good tackle, maybe the referee felt sympathy for him, but it wasn't. It was he fouls the player before he gets the ball because he has to go through the back of the player to do it. That is therefore stopping him scoring a goal. He can't make a tackle. It's a red. But everyone will see it differently. It's irrelevant. It's a penalty shootout. Some people are saying Schmeichel was a good yard off the line. It doesn't matter. If Modric hits a good penalty, they go through. Modric missed the penalty. So that's where it should be looked at anyway. Thanks everybody who's been watching tonight. Subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Let's see if we can get to 41,500 while we wait for these penalties. Every single World Cup game as a watch along. We're back tomorrow night at tomorrow afternoon, about 2:45 for Brazil, Mexico. Surely that won't go to penalties as well. This one will. It was a bad penalty by Modric though. It's really a bad penalty by Modric. It's like he's hit it thinking the keeper's gone and he hadn't. Poor penalty. So, here we go. Mr. B says, how about that incredible save? I mean, to be honest, it's a shame Rebic didn't score because it was a brilliant pass by Modric. He did really, really well. And, yeah, professional foul, says Patches. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. So will we get Denmark-Russia in a quarter-final, which means we'll get Denmark or Russia in a World Cup semi-final, or are we going to get Croatia, which many people thought we would get in the semi-final? Let's wait and see. Who's going first is the first thing. Schmeichel just looks like he's won this to me already. He just looks the more exuberant and confident goalkeeper. He looks like he's reveling in it, whereas the other goalkeeper seems to look a little bit nervous. Goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel in the stands as well. Here we go then, and Denmark are going to go first, and it will be Christian Eriksen who takes it. What's wrong with my lighting tonight? It's a little bit... It's all the sun cream on my face. Here we go then. Christian Eriksen to take the first penalty. What's your bets? I think Denmark have got this in the bag. I think Schmeichel's just got the edge. Christian Eriksen first. We've seen Spain go out. Are we going to... Who would have thought that at the start of the day, that we'd see Spain and Croatia go out potentially? Potentially Croatia. And he's missed it. I don't know whether the keeper saved it. but he's definitely missed it. He went low to the left. The keeper pounced. Davor Sukas happy. Christian Eriksen, as we watch it back, I think the keeper saves it, doesn't he? Saves it onto the post. Good penalty. I thought it was a good penalty. I just think the keeper dives the right way. So he's missed. 1-0. 2. Well, no. First blood to Croatia. They've got to get their goal first. Subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Get involved. Watchalong's World Cup. Here's Schmeichel. He just looks massive. He just, it doesn't look like he'll concede a goal to me. And he's missed it. Another crap penalty from Croatia. Rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Rubbish penalty. It's rubbish. It's the worst penalty I've ever seen. He toe punts it down the middle. My life. Really poor. Really poor. Anyway, here comes number 4 for Denmark. Can we get a goal here? It's Kjær. Nil-nil so far after one penalty. They've both missed. So here comes Kjær, the captain of Denmark. I think he'll put this away. Subasic moving his hands about. It's a good penalty that. Straight into the roof of the net. Looked like it was in the top right hand corner as well. Denmark take a 1-0 lead. Yeah, it's a good penalty that. It's not right in the top corner, but it's definitely hard to save it. Lovely penalty. What a penalty, says Toby the Greatest. What a pen, says Salish. What a hit, son. What a hit, says Anthony Muller. That's more like it, says Gungshi. Now that's a world-class penalty, says Gur. That's how to take a penalty, says Sally Devil Red 7. And here comes Croatia. Who's up for this? It's Kramaric. Schmeichel wants it to be retaken because of the stutter, which I don't think he's got a leg to stand on, to be honest, because you can do that. We've seen people doing it. He didn't actually stop. I think he's protesting because it's that stutter where you let the keeper to go, but he actually didn't stop. It was just a slow down. It was a good penalty. So we've had 2 good penalties there, Active Dan says. And 1-1. 1-1 now. He's number 2 for Denmark. I have to check the numbers, who they are, because I forget. He came on as a sub. It's Krohn Deli. Krohn Deli's coming on. He steps up. He puts it away. Lovely. 2-1 Denmark. I still think Denmark are going to win this. I do. Schmeichel takes penalties, doesn't he? Peter G as well. Nice penalty that. Low, hard. The first 2 penalties. The first penalty. The penalty by Modric and the penalty by the first penalty for Croatia was so bad. Well, here's Modric now. Has Schmeichel got the voodoo on him? This to make it 2-1 to Denmark or 2-2 for Croatia. Third penalty for Croatia. Modric. Schmeichel. I think he went straight down the middle. 3-3. I mean 2-2 after 3 penalties. Schmeichel went and he passed it down the middle. Oh, I tell you what, it's only a foot off Schmeichel's feet there. Close. Passed it straight down the middle. This lad did very well. I liked him for Denmark. Came on as a sub. Sean did very well. Did really well. Had a few shots. So penalty number 4 for Denmark. Ryan Prepper says this is going to be a miss. I think he'll score. He had quite a good game. I think he'll score. Steps up. Misses. Not a good penalty. Subasic, same side as Eriksson, palms it away. Croatia got a score yet, though. It's all right missing, but you've got to score the one after. And it was a comfortable save, that, for the keeper. He's well across. He's almost palming it back like that. He's well across. So Croatia... See, people are saying, oh, Croatia are going to win now. All that's happened is Denmark have taken their penalty first. If you don't score the penalty afterwards, it really doesn't matter. There's a little bit of pressure, but you've got to score the penalty after. Really important. So, good height for the keeper, says George Kyle. So, 22, stepping up for Croatia. It's going to be Pivrac, who came on as a sub. I think he came on for Mandzukic, actually. So, here we go. I think Schmeichel will save this. Pivaric, you can tell by the player, he's taking a big long run up and he doesn't look confident. Saved it, Schmeichel, good save. I told you, if you don't score the one after the penalty, after you've missed, you don't do it. I think Denmark will win it. I think Schmeichel's just got the... And that's a good save by the keeper as well. Schmeichel's the hero so far. Number 9 for Denmark. If he scores this, I think Schmeichel will save the last one. Jorgensen. Subasic has done quite well though, to be fair, but I just felt Schmeichel's got he's got that little bit extra. Oh, he's missed. He's missed it. Jorgensen's missed it. All the hard work by Schmeichel and Jorgensen's missed. So Croatia could be going through. What did he do? Go down the middle? Yeah, he went down the middle. And it's the flailing legs of Subasic. So who is Rakitic against Schmeichel to put Denmark out, or Denmark go through to sudden death in the penalties? Here we go. Rakitic to put them through. Should have probably gone through anyway if Modric had scored it in stoppage time, in extra time. Rakitic against Schmeichel. Head in the hands of the manager. He's done it! Rakitic sends the keeper the wrong way. Justice is served, many would say. Croatia go through. Denmark go out. Schmeichel sent the wrong way. I'm surprised. I thought Denmark had that in the bag. And actually, you know what? Subasic potentially man of the match, because Schmeichel made 2 really good saves and Subasic made 3. So it's... I would say justice has been served though, because Croatia should... Well, not even justice. I just think they should have had a man sent off. But does it really matter? Croatia go through. Croatia play Russia. Croatia have got a great chance to go to the semi-final. Denmark will be absolutely gutted with that. But that's football. Plug for the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. But we've had it takes a long time to get there with the penalties, doesn't it? But when we get there, it's there. Trader Zone says Croatia keeper cheated on every penalty kick. Well, apparently Schmeichel jumped forward on the Modric free kick, which was in normal time. Respect to Kasper, says Snaps. Exactly. I thought Kasper Schmeichel had a fantastic game. He made 2 good saves, and unfortunately he was let down. If I was Kasper Schmeichel, I'd be in there at the end saying, what was going on with our penalties? I've made the saves. They were crap. Denmark's penalty takers just weren't good. And Schmeichel played really well and made some really good saves, but the reality is the quality just wasn't there with the Danish penalty takers. And Denmark go out. Both teams, very equal game. Justified penalty shootout, but there you go. Anyway, I've got to do the United Stand, and if you are a United Stand follower, click the eye in the top right-hand corner or go to the United Stand. I'm literally going to be going live there in about 3 minutes' time. What an evening. I'm about 50 minutes late, but I am going to be live on the United Stand, and I'll see you over there in a couple of minutes. You can click the eye in the top right-hand corner, or you can go to the bottom and search for the United Stand. I'll see you there in a minute. Thanks for watching. Another great day, And we're back on here tomorrow at 3 o'clock for Brazil-Mexico. The World Cup that just keeps on giving.